everyone, it's Paola. So I am here today to do a layout design video, and honestly I'm so excited because I feel like I've been building up to this because it took a lot of planning for me, and I'm not the kind of person who plans things. I'm like a mess at everything. So this was really a long time coming. I was like coming up with ideas, then I came up with something, then I created it, then I put it in my portfolio. Like, I had this idea to make a travel guide for Colombia. If you don't know, I'm Colombian. We've been over this, but I decided to make a travel guide for Colombia, and it just took a lot of research, a lot of like time consuming, because I don't work all in one sitting. I come back to things, I look over things, I change things a million times. I'm never satisfied. So it just took a while to prepare this video for you guys, and then I wanted to get it printed to show you everything, and then just have this be like a perfect little thing that's complete for you guys. But also I was doing it for myself and for my portfolio. I just thought it was perfect, and I was really inspired to make something like this. So I might make more in the future, but this is a fun thing that I feel like will be helpful for you, because I feel like a lot of people want to know about layout design and like what to look for and what to do with it and like how to put a book together. So I'm going to show you from start to finish how I put my travel guide together. Okay, so I got my laptop here and let's go through the design. So the first thing I did while designing was setting up a file on InDesign, and I decided to create a 5.5 by 8 size book. And so I set up my document with the grids and margins and everything that I wanted. And grids are very important. I hate using them, but you know what? They are important because you do have to stick to a layout that you want. And I decided to do 3 columns. So my 3-column grid was definitely helpful as the work continued. So when designing this, I was really inspired by Condé Nast Traveler. That's one of my favorite publications besides like fashion magazines, because I just feel like they combine style and travel and just this whole like aesthetic that is really strong, and I would like love to emulate it. So I decided to do it like a little bit based off the style of Condé Nast and give little tips and stuff like they do, and their little like travel tip things. I put them like kind of in the same layout style, but I definitely made it my own. For me, it was important to use photos that were my own because I did not want to rip off somebody else and somebody else's experiences. So I used photos that were all from me and my family, and then I put in my own travel tips that I thought were important when going to Colombia. But of course, that has nothing to do with layout design. That's just me being me and making my travel guide. But overall, I wanted to use my own photos to make it a more unique book. When working with typefaces, it's important to stick to your grid and all your margins and everything, but it's also important to have a nice visual design and make it visually interesting by having more than just one typeface throughout the entire thing. So I used 2 typefaces, and then I used variations of the 2. So for example, I used a regular type in like a 10.5 size, and then another part I used it in like 24, and I used the bold version of that typeface. So it's really fun to work with type in that way, especially for print design, because print design just showcases type exquisitely. There are some things you have to think about when setting up your file to make a book and print a book, and one of them is the margins. So if you are designing something that you are going to say perfect bind, which is glue on the inside, or even like with like a big clip or something, depending on your binding, your margins are going to vary. So you definitely want to make sure that you know what you're going to be doing, so you don't cut off any design because you've made your margins too small from the get-go. So definitely think about the end product when you start. And the second thing that is important to note is that when you are printing a book, when you print booklet, that is different than just printing it double-sided on its own. So printing booklet is, say if you want to bind with like staples, which is very common, especially for zines, then you'll want to print booklet, and you have to have an even number that is divisible by 4. So if you don't have pages that are divisible by 4, you'll end up with an odd number, and you'll have a white page at the beginning or the end of your book. So make sure that you know how many pages you want to do at the beginning and how it's all going to work out for printing. So for my book, I did have an even number, but I ended up deciding that I wanted to glue it, and then I printed double-sided normally and not with the print booklet type. So you did it! You designed the book, hopefully, along with me, or at least learned some tips about designing in the future and what layout design is all about. So yeah, it's pretty fun working with grids and type and photos and imagery. Like, it's so much fun. But the best part is when it's all printed out and it comes together and it's better than you even expected it to be, because, you know, as designers and artists, we probably like never satisfied with our work. I know that from experience. I am always like, this is trash every time I do anything, and then it ends up being fine and I'm like, okay, why'd I freak out the whole time? So hopefully this was helpful for you to learn a little bit of the basics of layout. So now you have your printed out book and I am so excited about it. It's in my portfolio already. You can go check that out. I'll have the link below to my portfolio on my website. And yeah, it's great. Like, it has glue binding, it's got the cover, it's so cute, it's so small, it's the perfect size, exactly what I wanted. So I just think that it is so fun. Probably like one of my favorite things I've ever designed. I love designing layout like this because it just makes me feel like working in a magazine or something like that, or like I'm kind of creating my own little magazine, which I thought was really fun. And if you are into that, then hopefully this video helped you, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you're making lately. Like, let me know what kind of creative things you've been doing lately in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, because I make videos like this all the time. And things are only getting better from here because I'm really trying. So I will see you in my next video. Bye. Literally, oh my god, what the heck, it's so good. I love it. Just beachy. A beach, it's just beachy.